everyone, and welcome to A Filthy Talk, a Filthy Lots live weekly panel discussion show coming to you live from North Vancouver on the traditional territories of the Squamish Nation. We'd like to recognize the privilege to work, play, and create on these beautiful lands, and we encourage you at home to comment with what traditional territories you're watching from. I am Trevor Gemma. Joining me today, Sam Carnelli, you know him as Chef Cargs in the chat, and returning as captain of the Starship chat room, we have Ash Turner.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Did you just Spock wave?
Yeah.
Nice.
What's up?
And also joining us today, very special guests. Super excited about this because of what we're going to be talking about today. We have Jason Rouleau and Adam McIvor.
Hey.
Is it McIvor?
It is, you nailed it.
Nice.
A lot of people mess that up, but you got it perfect.
Nice.
Wow. Pat in the back for that one.
You would know them also in the chat and from our Monday night Overwatch E-Sports as Ageless and Newbeat. So awesome to meet you in the flesh.
It's awesome to be here. Like I was saying to you before we started, I've been dreaming of this moment ever since I started with Questline. So it's good to finally see that come true.
Hell yeah, glad to have you, man. So we kick things off here with a bit of nerd news. I only have one item, but I don't know if you guys have anything. But I was excited to read today that they have announced Marvel is announcing a Nova movie. I don't know if people at home know. Nova's a little bit lesser known of a character, but I was wondering why when they introduced the Nova Corps, they didn't introduce Nova. That surprised me. So
I was going to ask if that was related, actually, because
Yeah.
I didn't know, but that makes perfect sense because they look the same, they have the same name.
yeah.
Put that together.
Although it wouldn't be off base for comic books if they looked the same, had the same name, and then weren't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair.
I'm just realizing this is a horrible sin. My phone's on silent. Okay, there we go. Okay, thoughts, feelings? Anyone care about Nova?
I only know Nova from the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon. So that's my only exposure with Nova. But like I said, I didn't even put it together with like the Nova Corps. So, I mean, I wasn't paying that much attention, I
Yeah,
guess.
fair enough.
Sounds like it could be cool. I mean, he flies, shoots
Yeah.
energy stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty powerful. The first Nova was actually, the Nova that you would know then from Spider-Man is the son of Nova.
Okay.
Yeah, who I think inherits his dad's helmet, and that's where he gets the powers from. But I think that's what it was. I don't know Nova even all that well, but I know that it leads into a lot of celestial stuff. Yeah.
Well, when you go Nova in D&D or Shadowrun, that's when you use all your stuff, so it sounds good.
Oh, okay.
You got no spell slots left, all your hit dice are gone, and you're on the floor gasping for air. Yeah.
Okay, enough
You know
about
how
that.
that feels.
Let's get into the main thing we're talking about today, and the reason the category I noticed, Alex, well done, is set to Overwatch. We, this weekend and next weekend, are having the first A Filthy Lot sponsored Questline Open E-Sports tournament.
It's going to be big.
Yeah. Are you guys excited? You look exhausted.
Yeah.
I say it and you're just like,
The excitement is just like gone into just tired.
oh, okay.
But I'm really excited for it. I'm excited to get into it now.
Is it probably like Saturday morning is when you're gonna wake up and be like, whoa. Yeah, that happens to me. As you get into those last, like the finish line in sight kind of thing, it's like, oh man, like you're just like, and people are like, you excited? It's like, not yet.
Have you read all the documents
Yeah.
and seen the website and the Discord and all the interaction? Oh my God.
Yeah, it's kind of.
What a team.
For me, the first time it was like real was like we've been planning it for a long time. But on Monday when we did our cast, I was like, oh, and make sure to check out the Questline Open this weekend. I was like, this weekend? this was supposed to be like so long in the future, and now it's here. So it really snuck up on me. It's
Yeah.
really good to get it going.
It came real quick.
It's been like perpetually months from now, and then it was like, oh, it's in 5 days.
Oh yeah, that just made my stomach fall a bit. Ash, did you have your hand up for something?
Oh, I was just going to add in a little bit of nerd news that Let's posted in the chat, which is that there's a new Witcher 4 game coming out that has been announced. And that's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, nothing important,
Made in
but important.
Unreal Engine 5, so it'll look incredibly
That's
gorgeous.
gonna look crazy.
But it will take a while to make, so we'll wait.
Hopefully.
CD Projekt
Yeah,
Red
hopefully.
announced a thing.
Yeah.
We'll see it.
That's the same.
Will they get
company that
hacked
did
again? I don't know.
Cyberpunk 2077?
Yeah,
Yeah,
how many
so-
years in the making?
Yeah, a couple years. And then it should have been a couple more.
Yeah, or at least one more.
I mean,
Because I'm playing it now, and I haven't come across any game-breaking glitches. One
Yeah.
weird one, but that's about it. So I think they've patched it pretty good.
and we are talking about like Overwatch a bit today, and Overwatch 2 was announced over 3 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
Really?
Or over 2 years ago. It's like 800 days or something like that. And it's finally going into a beta at the end of April. So they're finally getting around to it. But yeah, so if you're an Overwatch fan, you're no stranger to having to wait for
Doom
a game
Tank.
that takes way
It's
too
gonna
long.
be great.
Yeah.
Whoa, what's Doom Tank?
Doomfist is getting rekit as a tank instead of a DPS.
Oh, okay.
Should be a lot of fun.
A lot of changes. Going to 5v5, which is going
Yeah,
to make it really
that's-
interesting.
Because it's 6v6 right now, right? Yeah.
So they're eliminating one tank. So it'll be one tank now instead of two,
Oh.
which is exciting. But it also, like, Adam and I are usually both play tank. So,
So that synergy's gone.
yeah.
You're going to have to reevaluate your relationship.
Yeah, we can't talk anymore. We have until April 26th, I think, is the beta. So
Wait, are you guys playing the beta?
no, it's closed beta closed beta right now for pro players and streamers.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think it's actually still in the alpha. I think the beta
be
is
alpha,
what's
yeah.
next month.
Right.
So I've like opted in, like signed up for it, but there's no guarantee that means you're going to play. So you can always go and check it out, but there's no, I guess they're trying to find people from like all different levels. I'm like, I'm really bad at it. So,
Yeah,
if you need a bad person, like I'm right here.
that's true. We got the team for you. We will find those bugs at the bottom of the ladder.
So what are you most anticipating about Overwatch 2?
I would say new content. Overwatch is pretty famous now for, at least within some of the gaming communities, for they've gone 2 years without anything substantial. Basically, since they announced the second game, they took most of their developers, put them on Overwatch 2, and the original game was just on like live sport. So nothing has happened. So it'll be just nice to like have new content and like new heroes, new maps. Like there's a new Canadian hero coming out with Overwatch 2, so that'll be fun. Toronto is also going to be a map.
Oh,
for Americans.
course it is.
Toronto.
Just all
Center of the
Toronto.
universe.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff coming down the line.
Yeah, it's been really wild. Yeah, because there's like no content at all, and especially with games as a service, you look at Apex, you look at Fortnite, you look at even Call of Duty. The entire thing is that you play the same game and they keep updating it, and that's what Overwatch was doing. And then they were just like, no, we're just not.
Oh, wow.
So it gets the expectations were definitely let down by a lot of fans.
So when was the last new thing added to the first Overwatch?
2 years ago.
Yeah,
Really?
Echo was the last new hero added to the game. There haven't been heroes or maps since, and I think it was like it's almost 2 years to the day, like today.
God damn.
So it's been quite a dry spell. Like they'll release like Winter Wonderland and a Halloween event, but it's the same thing every
just
time.
recycled this- oh, I
so
hate
it
that.
doesn't really count.
Hey, give me my archives every year. It's the best.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be the new PvE. So they are with the sequel, they're introducing a story, which I think is.
See, that's where you get new players like me.
That's what I was thinking. We're going to definitely get more players that might not necessarily be interested in the PvP.
Yeah, I do PvP, but very secondary to PvE. I play for story first and foremost. It's rare that I go into like a straight deathmatch game. What's going on, Ash?
We have an Ask Us Almost Anything from Pink Emma.
Nice.
For our Overwatch esports fellas. Apparently, there was some point where Mr. Graves, aka Trevor, didn't catch a reference that's from Overwatch. It's high noon.
Okay.
And Pink Emma is wondering if you can explain that reference to Trevor, and also, what are your favorite Overwatch characters?
Isn't that on your shirt?
It
was right
yeah,
here.
so- yeah, Sam could take this one too, but I'll let Ajo start this one off.
Well, it's High Noon is the voice line. It's like the audio cue that comes from Cassidy's ultimate ability.
Okay.
So once you build it up, you'll hear like somewhere, usually behind you, usually way up above you, and you're like, okay, well, I hope I don't die. Is basically it.
And my favorite part of the whole It's High Noon thing is the voice actor is Matt Mercer, who's on Critical Role. Like everyone knows who Matt Mercer is at this point.
He's gonna gain all the notoriety from this show.
And I guess,
Yeah, no, you're welcome, Matt Mercer.
That's the Matt Mercer effect, yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess when the game came out, Matt Mercer would go into games and say that like on the voice chat, just to mess with people.
Oh, that's genius.
And I'm like, I respect that.
yeah, that's mad respect for that.
Yeah, it's pretty
Holy
funny.
crap, that's so cool. Oh, that'd be so much fun to do. Just to screw with people with like an in-game cue for death.
And he's the only one that can do it.
Yeah.
It's his voice.
Oh, something else.
I know that we still haven't gotten to everyone's favorite Overwatch characters, but just as an insert to the It's High Noon, Capri is requesting in an Ask Us Almost Anything, can one of them please say It's High Noon in the voice?
Oh,
That's you.
No, I definitely can't. I'm gonna do. It's high noon.
nice.
It's a cowboy.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want?
What do you want?
What do you want? But to go off that, my favorite Overwatch character is Tracer. She's on the cover. She's a really like peppy. Like if you go lore wise, she's super positive all the time.
She
Plus
does
she's, like,
this
yeah,
one?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But also like a time traveler with guns. Like there's a lot to like there. It's a really fun character to play as well.
So fast.
One of the coolest designed characters I think I've ever seen in a video game. The ability to rewind time without it being like game breaking, I think is really interesting. So like she has on a cooldown, she will go back to where she was 2 seconds ago, 3 seconds ago, and she recovers whatever health she had at that point.
So she only really affects herself.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Interesting. Let's just skip the whole paradox thing.
Yeah.
Harass the back line. You know.
Yeah, but it makes her so difficult to kill because she can blink around. She blink 10 meters.
Sure. I have no idea.
You knew the recall.
I got 1 out of 2.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. But then every so often she has the cooldown where she'll just go back 3 seconds to where she was. So where it gets really interesting and what you see professional players do is they'll see the recall and they'll track where she was. So you'll see the recall activate and they'll just like spin around and hit her again.
Whoa.
Like, okay,
That's insane.
touch grass.
Also, like being like triggering them too. So like you do a significant amount of damage, knowing they're gonna come all the way back.
Yeah.
You're just ready for them.
Yeah,
Especially as like Hanzo. Like,
Did you just say you did that?
Oh, I did that last night as Reaper.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I had a good shot on her as she was blinking forward, or like jumping forward, and I knew she was gonna blink back immediately. So I turned to where she was, peers, and insta-dead.
Oh, that's
Very
wicked.
satisfying.
That'd be super satisfying. I mean, this is a weird story, but the closest thing I have to that was actually in real life doing paintball.
Hold on. When did you time travel
So
playing paintball?
So it's not that the person went back in time, but
Damn.
it was a Terminator round, and it was my birthday, so it was me versus everyone who came with me. And I had taken everybody else out, and it was my one buddy Kevin left. And I saw him duck into this one area, and I was going to chase because we were a good distance apart from each other. But I was about to chase him into the area. I stopped. I knew what he was going to do. I turned. I fired at nothing, and he popped back out from behind a tree and got hit by the paintball.
Calculated.
Yeah.
I was like, ha ha. Yeah, he didn't jump back in time, but he tried to backtrack and got smoked.
So we got a Tracer. Who's your favorite character?
Yeah, who is yours?
Oh, I didn't expect that. Honestly, I think probably Zarya. I play a lot of Zarya, but because the way the hero plays is, you don't have to aim very well, which is great for me, but it's based on like predicting positioning and punishing poor positioning, things like that. So that's for us especially who moved over from console. It's difficult. Everyone is so much better on PC, and the aim is so much tighter that I find just playing a hero that rewards like thinking ahead, I get a lot out of that. So.
And the thing I like about Zarya is if we're playing together, I can be like, Jason, go play Zarya, because then we win. Because he's really good. So I'm like, it doesn't matter what I do. I can just feed all day. But you go play Zarya and just, carry me to victory. It makes my life a lot easier.
Well, it's like predicting well, like you get your charge up high, and then you're just a DPS tank that just nullifies everything.
Yeah.
Move over, Symmetra.
Yeah.
So, the two of you clearly been playing Overwatch together for a long time.
Yeah, since it came out.
Pretty much, yeah, since it came out.
Okay.
But we've been playing video games together since like the original Halo.
Yeah.
So
dang.
we go back, like we played a lot of Destiny in there. I can't really think of anything other than those two.
Speaking of games of a service that completely shit the bed.
Sure. Yeah,
Shit the bed how?
Destiny 2 was not good.
Destiny 2 is great.
Well, now it is.
Oh, okay.
Destiny was like, release half a game, everyone's mad. Make it into a great game. Build the sequel. Learn nothing from a Destiny 1.
Destiny 2 is now what they promised with Destiny 1.
Right.
Where they
Yeah.
said one game, you'll never have to buy it again. They'll just be like, it'll evolve over time.
Yeah.
And then Activision was like, no, we want the money. And
Yeah.
then they did the second one. And then it wasn't until, Bungie walked away that they actually started doing what it is now, which is very cool.
Yeah, no, they've done a great job with it. It's just the game as a service that was like, let's spend 3 years grinding this and then learn not a single lesson and release the same game we did with Destiny 1.
Yeah.
Half built, everyone's mad. Why is everyone mad?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So,
But what got you guys into casting?
Well, for me, it was we started playing in a league on console, which is not as common. Like there's like a bunch of console leagues out there, some of them pretty big, but we were in a very small one, and some of the people that were casting were not great.
Oh, okay.
They were basically just like, it's not that they were just trying to talk and just chill out, have fun with their friends, and I was like, oh, I could do this better. For sure.
Oh.
And then Jay's like, well, let's do it. And I was like, nah, and I chickened out. So then years later, when we got PCs, that's when he approached me again. It's like, listen, I have this idea to do it, for a filthy lot, and I think it'll be really fun. And so we started doing that, did some practice. Then a couple organizations were like, oh, come cast for us, and it's just snowballed up until this tournament, right?
it's way out of control.
Never thought I would make a cent. I don't make a lot of money, but I make something.
It's wild.
Did
getting
not
into
see that
casting.
coming. Yeah.
But for Overwatch, we went from we should try casting to we get coached by the Dallas Fuel's ex-coach.
Oh.
Which is the pro team based out of Dallas. And so we on Tuesday and the previous Tuesday had Tickety, and he came into the Questline Discord and coached us on game knowledge and stuff like that. So it's wild being from this game's fun to we have a professional coach coming in and professional casters coming in.
That's very cool.
It's been pretty wild.
Yeah, I saw you two in the Discord, in the chat with someone. I was like, are they casting? Oh no, did I miss something?
Just Tickety. Check out Tickety on Twitch. Tikatee. He just spits out the most absurd amount of knowledge about the game that you're like, we've played this game for 5 years. I listen to him talk for 5 minutes, and I've never played Overwatch.
Oh, wow.
It turns out I don't know anything.
So have you tried casting any other games?
Not yet, but there are some games that we are looking to get into, or at least I'm looking to get into. Halo Infinite just came out recently, so there's some people casting that. Valorant is one that has similarities to Overwatch that a lot of people like to kind of switch over into. I'm personally not great at Valorant. It's very aim dependent, and I don't have good aim. So it's something that I want to get into the game first before I start casting it. But it's definitely something that I'd like to branch out and do more stuff, because it's just the nature games get more popular or less popular, and it's good to have more than one option.
Yeah. What made you guys pick Overwatch? Was it just because you were fans of the game?
Yeah, I think it was because we were fans and we played it. We felt like we knew it. And for me, I felt like I could describe it properly, like I do the play-by-play, more or less. So for me, that's creating these narratives throughout the games, and explaining it to people in a way that like adds value to what they're watching instead of just describing exactly what's happening on screen.
Which I gotta say, you guys do very well, because like I didn't know what to expect, and I wouldn't typically watch like PvP stuff like just endlessly unless there's like a really entertaining streamer. But it really felt like I was watching a sportscast. Like you guys do a great job of hyping up the gameplay and informing me of what I'm watching, because like I don't know what the hell I'm watting at
It's
first.
a
I'm
fast
just like,
game.
Go hamster.
Yeah, like people are like, how do you cast Overwatch? I'm like, I yell at colors. That's all I'm doing. Like we can like put some nice words on it, but at the end of the day, I'm like, look at all these colors. It's pretty.
Yeah, I loved watching the progression from like when you started casting on Questline to where you are now. And like if you go back and watch those first videos to what you are.
Don't do it.
No, it's fantastic, and just watching you get more passionate and involved with the game. It's fantastic.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, it takes a lot of work too, right? Like there's a lot of casters that are like, yeah, I just do it with my friends, or I like doing it for this league because I know people to play in it. But like when I started, it was like, oh, I'm going back and reviewing my own video to see what I did wrong, what words I was repeating a lot, and that was awful. Like most people hate the sound of their own voice, and I really hate the sound of my own voice. So it was like there might have been a couple of these involved, like the first time. Like, I can't like get by it, but it really does take a little bit of work to go from just like, you know, like I said, kind of just describing exactly what's happening to like creating a narrative or like finding these similarities over like a longer period of time and kind of weaving it together. And I think that's what can really make things interesting. Like you see it all the time in sports, right? Like, you know, the Toronto Maple Leafs choke all the time, right? And it's somehow it's always correct. I'm a Leafs fan, so I know more than anybody that it's very correct.
What was it, 67?
67, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what 55 years now at this point. Something like that. My math might be.
It's okay. I can't really relate. Yeah. Actually, I can. I grew up in Vancouver. So what's a cup?
Yep.
I don't understand.
Yeah. It's something that's just out of your reach, I think.
Yeah.
It's
But
Roughly
hey,
one riot away.
you guys get close. Like the Leafs haven't even been in the finals since '67.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they've been to the conference finals a couple times, but
You know, it might be
far as-
better because honestly, as a like Vancouver local, within my lifetime, getting to Game 7 of the finals twice and losing, I stopped watching hockey. Stopped entirely.
I, as somebody that's watched her team choke in Game 7s 6 times in the last 8 years, I fully understand that. But like for me, it was like my grandpa did it. He cheered for the Leafs. My dad cheered for the Leafs, and now I cheer for the Leafs. And it's like, so whenever they lose now, I'm just like, Dad, this is your fault. I had no choice.
I learned it from you.
Practically genetic at this point.
But I think the thing that you've improved the most over your casting so far is just your way to convey that excitement in a game. Like when something epic happens, it's just like, oh my God, this happened and it's really cool. You actually are able to describe through the emotion of it while still hyping everyone up.
And the repercussions of it.
Yeah, and like such a cool, like I think a really good example of that is like when Cloud was on that sniping spree.
Oh my God,
that was ridiculous.
crazy.
And just being able to talk, like go, oh wow, and then be able to describe exactly how that was instrumental to pushing that point. That's such an improved skill that you've got. And I think that's really nice.
We realized our trailer was like 50% just Cloud killing people. And we're like, oh man, it's all just Cloud. Huh?
Hopefully nobody looks in the top right corner.
Yeah.
Because we had to go through our old videos just to find like, you know, clips with a lot of hype in them, and every time it's like, there's Cloud again, just killing 4 people.
Yeah.
And it was always on a different hero. The guy's absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
Okay, so we haven't talked much about it, but the Questline Open. What is it? Who's in it? When can people watch it? Where can they watch it?
So this one's for you. I know it's a
Okay.
labor of love.
So
Or hate.
just not for myself. It starts this weekend. It's gonna be on Saturday. We're gonna be going live at noon Eastern. Although our pre-show is gonna be shot right here at the lot. We're gonna be going live at 11:30 Eastern. And it is a 32 team, I think we're at now, $10,000 US dollar prize pool. And it's all like semi-pro levels. You're allowed to have 3 professional players on your team, up to as a max. And after that, so it's more focused on like a tier 3. You can have pros, you can have, but only so many. It's more about showcasing people who have excelled to that like top 0.001%, and it's kind of their chance to try and get some good games in against players better than them, like play against pros. So they're not quite at that level, or maybe they are, and this is their chance to kind of prove it.
Oh, there you go.
So, and we've done the same thing with our broadcasters, where we haven't announced the casters for the second weekend. That'll probably be happening tomorrow, which we're really excited about.
Yeah.
It's a lot of familiar faces.
Can I say there's some big names?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the Overwatch community. It's going to be fun. Anyway, go on.
But our first weekend is more on the community tournament side, where we have our, casters who we've worked with and who have worked with friends of ours that are kind of not quite at that pro level, but given the chance to work on what is considered a major tournament. I think it's a minimum $10,000 prize pool to be considered a major. So we've been given that major title status, which is really big.
That's badass.
Especially, it holds a lot of weight for broadcasters' resumes, especially.
Oh, yeah.
So it's getting in people who are passionate about casting, people who are passionate about the game, and getting them into a major tournament that they might not have had a chance to get into otherwise. So that's been kind of one of our big focuses, is working on tier 3, looking at, there's a lot of college teams, which is wild. There's a bunch of schools that do scholarships for Valorant, for Overwatch, for all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, and that's always crazy to me that schools are now giving out scholarships for esports, and they have esports teams.
Did not know that.
Yeah, we've even
get a
on
full
the
ride.
channel, about I want to say 3 weeks ago, we had Penn State.
Yeah.
Oh.
The Penn State Overwatch
in their
team.
esports teams. So well-known, institutions and stuff like that, and even some of the teams in this tournament are teams that we've seen on our channel that have now signed up.
Nice.
Crack Cats and Soccer Punch and stuff like that. So it really is like a top to bottom thing. Like, I know there's some streamers that people would know that watch Overwatch. So it's really like from top to bottom, like we have a little bit of everything. And like going back to like that whole thing about talking about like narratives, it's like, what if one of these small teams, goes on a bit of a run? Like,
Yeah.
Like it's March, so I'm assuming March Madness is happening now, right? So it's like the bracket busting, like, that little school that could just beating, this huge juggernaut. So it's going to make for a really interesting couple weekends.
And how many teams in total?
32.
32? And are they all signed up at this point?
No, there's still a couple spots left.
Still a couple spots left.
Yep.
And where do people go to sign up?
T6.gg, and it has the sign up link there. It's all through Challenge, which is like a bracket provider for esports. And yeah, there's still a few spots open.
Sweet. And where can the audience watch all the action starting Saturday, and at what time?
Saturday, 11:30, we're going to be going live on twitch.tv/Questline Esports. And we're also going to be going live with our games at noon Eastern time on a Filthy Lot.
Nice.
So we're going to have the 2 streams going for the first couple games of the day, just to try and show as much as we can without going too wild. And then it'll just be on Questline Esports, and we'll be live Saturday and Sunday, and then the following week, Saturday and Sunday again. It's gonna be a lot of Overwatch.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of Overwatch. Like you said, the pre-show starts at 9:30 Eastern, you said? Is that correct?
On Saturday,
Yeah, on Saturday.
11:30 Eastern.
Okay, my time zones are always wrong. I have
8:30 our time.
I have screwed up our Discord chats so many times because I can't do simple math.
Yeah, that's
But
fair.
anyway, like for us, we're starting early. Like we're going all day, more or less. And it's going to be a lot of content, as the kids say.
That's a lot of content.
But like the Vancouver Titans, so we talked about like the Dallas Fuels coach Tickety was in working with us on Tuesday. The Vancouver Titans coaches are going to be coming down to AFL on Sunday to join us on our desk.
Now you mentioned, go.
You'd appreciate this. in true Vancouver fashion, the Titans got all the way to the finals.
Oh no.
Exactly
I love how you didn't have to finish the sentence.
And then blew the team up.
that was rough. That was a rough loss.
If it makes you feel better, I cheer for the Toronto Defiant, the Toronto team, and they just don't win. So it's just another Toronto area sports team that does nothing. So there really are some similarities.
Vancouver and Toronto, we're not that different.
And the Vancouver Overwatch team is owned by the Aquilinis.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not surprising.
Yeah, so they have
They'll
a,
show games at
At
whatever.
Rogers?
Yep, Rogers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always
That's what
still
it's
want to call
called
it
now.
GM Place. It's still GM Place in my heart.
This is not the Coliseum.
So in the tournament, as far as teams that have signed up thus far, any favorites, any predictions, any ones to watch that you want to like draw attention to?
I honestly, there's such a wide variety of skill level. Like if you go by SR rating, there's averages from like 46,000, which people would know as like Grandmaster.
600.
So yeah, 4,600. Sorry, 46,000 would be crazy. 4,600, which would be like Grandmasters, and then you go down like 4,300, which doesn't sound like a lot, but the skill gap in like that top, 3-4% of players is absolutely wild. I know I'm going to like kind of internally root for the underdogs. Like that's just kind of how I'm wired, but at the same time,
Same.
I think, we just kind of covered that, didn't we? Yeah. But I really just, like, I want to see long games, right? Like, you don't want to see, like, those 3-0s or 3-1s where, like, one team is, like, clearly
Just
got the other
dominant.
team's numbers. Yeah. I want to see games going the distance and going to overtime a lot. And just really, you paid for the whole seat, but you only need the edge.
Well, it's that much.
That's
It's that much more tension.
Yeah.
Yeah, living for the tension.
It's more fun than watching a complete stomp. I think like Munich E-Sports is probably going to be a big
Yeah.
heavy hitter.
You said Munich?
Yeah.
Ah.
So they have a really, really solid team who we've had a lot of members actually on our show before. I think they're going to be really strong. There's a couple stream teams that are really strong as well.
Yeah. There's the one with, I want to say Kefri, or it might be Capri. I'm not sure how to say that. But he's got a team with Gail Adelaide and I think Red Shell's on it, who's like a Lucio player that's been a streamer forever.
Oh.
I think they actually are a cancer survivor as well. Since Overwatch started, they got diagnosed with cancer and now are back to streaming. So that's
wild.
It's always good to see. So there's definitely a lot of variance in what you're gonna see, like the skill levels, the styles. Like a person like Red Shell is kind of like what they call a Reddit Lucio. They don't really heal or support their team. They're in the back line trying to kill, the opposite team. So there's going to be a lot of variance, like just from game to game.
Yeah, it should be exciting. There's some pretty like flashy players like Red Shell that are maybe more playing for the crowd than they are playing for their team. But
if they succeed,
then it's fun and it ends up on Reddit, hence the Reddit Lucio.
That's fair.
So, but I think like Munich Esports especially is one that I'd really like to watch. We've seen some of their players before, and it's cool having a team, coming all the way from it's like logging on their computers all the way from Germany. I say coming
from. Coming to you live from. Is it hard to keep like a non-biased approach when you're casting and you're covering teams?
I don't find so, because like I kind of touched on this a moment ago, but I'm cheering for excitement. Yeah. Right? Like I did say that I'm kind of wired for the underdog, but like once the game starts, like especially as a caster, I just want it to be the most exciting game possible.
That's fair.
And that's what I'm always hoping for.
That's a good approach.
So it's really like to that point, like I guess if one team goes down a little bit, I'm kind of cheering for them just so they can make it closer so it can keep going. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'm just looking for big plays and stuff that makes you like, jump out of your seat and yell a little bit and make the neighbors wonder what you're doing. At 9 a.m, like, why is this dude yelling? What's going on? So
if you yell loud enough to wake the neighbors here, that's
impressive. Yeah.
I'm loud. I'm not that loud.
How many casters do you have in total? Because that's a lot of teams, and imagine a lot of it's happening simultaneously.
There is on our first day.
Also a long shift, right?
Yeah, well, for us. I think we've got 18 casters.
Wow.
And I want to say 8 people on the desk.
Damn.
So we're trying to get, especially the first weekend, everyone is only casting like 2 games.
Okay.
In order to get more people involved. Everyone will do like 2 games back to back, and then that's it. And then some come back the next day and do another 2 games back to back. But with the idea that we can give a lot of people an opportunity to be involved with the major and get that experience kind of under their belt. Mm-hmm. We're also really fortunate that we're working with a company called, or a group called Bad Pachamari League, who have signed on to do our production, and they're absolute wizards. They do a ton of production for all sorts of pro teams, things like that. So it's a good opportunity for a lot of the casters had worked with BPL before, but it's kind of a good opportunity to get everyone together and get that experience in.
Yeah, there's a lot of learning. Like, if you've watched our streams, I always mention Harvester, who's probably in the chat somewhere right now.
I saw Harvester in the chat.
And he's my brother, and like now he gets to learn from the Bad Pachamari League people as well.
Harvester does an awesome job. Like,
yeah.
I'm super impressed already, but like, yeah, you can always improve, right?
I make the joke every once in a while on stream that maybe he doesn't, but he really does. Like, straight up, like, what we do doesn't work without what he's doing as well, because like he's the one trying to find what you're looking at and like find a, an area or a point in the game where like, oh, I can see what's happening and like I understand. Because if you're just watching one person the whole time, or you're watching something that might be irrelevant to what's going on, then like people are at home like, what is even going on?
And jumping into that third person camera to watch the overall battle and seeing that more and more, that's been really great.
Well, and Harvester has like everyone's feed at once, so you're watching 12 different streamers feed. Like,
so he's within, he's in the lobby. And then he has options to move to anyone's point of view, or he can go free cam essentially. But he's in the game with us.
Oh, so he doesn't. I pictured him having 12 different like little monitors.
He has to know without seeing it what is going to happen.
Holy shit!
It's actually more impressive.
That's more
like
impressive.
You made him sound like a Batman villain, which is cool.
Yeah,
but like
I pictured him like Ozymandias from Watchmen, where he's just like watching all of the things and clicking like that guy's about to do something cool.
But no, he's doing it in his mind.
God damn. Ash, you had something?
There's 2 aspects simultaneously.
Oh, fantastic.
Both are related.
Oh,
Wow, here we go.
but just like Harvester and
Oh
no.
Good luck, buddy.
One, I'm famous for nothing, is why does Jason have no red pen to go with his black and blue pen?
Oh. Because there are no mistakes, only happy accidents?
Yes.
Ha!
That's
I'm sorry, I had to Bob Ross it. I don't know what.
That's a good question. I brought one for Adam, and I forgot to give it to both of us.
Yeah, I don't have a pen.
Yep.
That's fine.
The
Whatever.
second question
Yeah, thanks.
from Druzilla is, are the pens practical or a fashion statement?
Neither, because I forgot to give them to either of us. Now they're practical.
I was going to ask you about the pens, or like at the top, I was like, huh.
I was just like,
ignored it.
oh man, I hope I don't lose these.
actually they stand for pentakill.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm like, where do you even find these pens? I always use the pens
Upstairs
that have
on
like
the
the
desk.
They're upstairs on the
The
desk.
bookshelf.
like I like the ones
Like
that
some
have like the
Sharpies?
5 different colors.
Oh, the rainbow pens?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Best. Those are the best pens.
I haven't seen one of those in years.
I have like probably 12 of them. I just bought a big pack off Amazon.
Why?
Well, now I'm not going to run out.
Okay, yeah. fine.
Solid logic.
So what made you guys want to put together a tournament in the first place?
I'll let you do.
That was kind of our goal from the beginning. Was one thing that we had seen, and one thing that we'd always struggled with, or had seen communities and leagues struggle with, was that everyone wants to play, but casting was always really difficult to find. And no matter what league we played in or what community we were playing with, it was always like, oh yeah, we should stream the game. Like, oh, we don't have casters.
Oh.
So
It's like finding a drummer for a band.
it is exactly like finding a drummer for the band. And if you
Or a
like,
goalie.
yeah,
Hey,
yes.
Nobody wants to play goalie.
Oh.
So, and that's what, or a DM, where it's like, oh yeah, there's like one DM for like 50 groups in town. There's one drummer for every band. So we found the same thing with casters, and I was like, we should do casters, because that seems like there's a niche there And then it was like, okay, so let's get into casting. Let's learn how to do it. Let's make friends. Let's network. Let's meet a lot of other interesting and cool people that share the same kind of values that we do. And then we can launch our tournament and we can have our own community.
Nice.
So, and we have our own casters. We can bring our own folks in, stuff like that.
Ash, I saw a hand in the air. What's going on?
Yes, there's another Ask Us Almost Anything.
Oh,
People are
damn.
so curious.
Which is great.
From Gene McInnes, will there be an eye in the sky redemption during tourney? It seems to kill the person.
Oh, thank you. One more
I
page.
do-
There you go.
I do think there is a bit of a curse to the Eye in the Sky redemption in those scrims because,
There
like,
I
definitely
mean, if
can be.
Skydead is in there, yeah.
well, there is like every time I've used it because I've redeemed it a fair few times, and within seconds of switching to the person, they die, and I'm like, man,
But it can have the opposite effect where they just go on a tear.
yeah,
Yeah, we
not
have
when I
seen
redeem
that,
it.
which has been super helpful. We will not have it for the tournament just because it would be quite disruptive.
That's fair.
Just like when you used to swap back and forth between color and play-by-play. Yeah.
Yeah, we
tried that about
stopped
twice.
that.
But also, there's a third option, the eye in the sky, which is Lutz, who just picks Torb every time.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. To the point where if someone picks Torb, we just like get ready.
Yeah, get ready, it's going to Torb. Do you have any redemptions for the tournament? No?
Well,
Nothing
we'll
planned?
have like the standard like highlight your message stuff like that.
Okay.
But other than that, we're basically taking everything and putting it into Solomon, who is from Bad Patch Mario League, into his extremely capable hands and being like, make us look awesome. It's probably the best, I would say, amateur broadcast of an esport I think I've ever seen comes from
wild.
Bad Patch Mario League.
Like we've been lucky enough to see like behind the scenes for BPL once or twice, and it's like you were talking about Ozymandias sitting there like clicking. That's kind of what Solomon.
That's Solomon?
Yeah,
but he's got
four
like
different OBS instances.
he's got like a crazy setup.
Solomon's in the chat and says, "That's me."
Yeah.
Hi, Solomon.
like an actual
you.
wizard. Thank you. Yeah, speaking of Batman villains, he could be one if he wanted
He
to.
might team up with Batman.
He's
Batman
Alfred.
teams up
He's
with
Alfred.
villains.
Ash again.
Hi.
Hi.
More Ask Us Almost Anything from Pink Emma this time.
Oh, right on.
Will there be channel point betting on the matches?
Oh, yeah,
I think
that's
we
something
should,
I
yeah,
Oh.
that we can do.
Yeah. We could definitely.
We'll be doing that. Get that gambling fix in there.
Which will be so. Make sure you guys. I shouted it out in the chat earlier. We can do it again. Can you shout out Questline Esports there, Crash, please? So yeah, we did again. Just to reiterate, we have a second Twitch channel, and it is Questline Esports. There's no space, right? It's all one word.
Correct.
Yeah. So make sure you follow that because we've only been streaming there for a couple of weeks now, so people don't have the same channel point cash that they do here on a Filthy Lot. So just to make sure you're tuning in and leaving that thing open to get them channel points. Also, it just hit affiliate, so the more you're active in chat, channel points, you gain more when you're active in chat. Also, if you subscribe, you gain more channel points. So
Yeah, like way
just
more.
saying.
Just saying you should. Yeah, you get way more channel points.
It's true.
Like tons.
true.
I don't actually know if that's true. I'm going
It
along
is true.
with it. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, you get more for subs, gifting subs, that kind of thing.
Ah, okay, okay.
Well, I mean, Trevor, he is an affiliate, right? So I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
he would know.
I was just going along with it.
No, it's true. I'm not lying.
Okay.
I'm not just trying to.
If you were, I would have gone along with it.
So things I've learned watching your streams so far.
Ooh.
I am 1,000 times better at playing Wrecking Ball. I understand how the ultimate works better. I understand how to engage, disengage better. So you can just harass that back line, create space, and do so much more. I've gotten way better with the old Hammond there. Also understanding that ults aren't just for kills. Like how can you create that space to let your team push forward? Sometimes at high noon, you're not going to get all 6, but just the fear, the running away factor is huge. Positioning, I've gotten a lot better at that. I'm really good at flanking. Like I love to drive the flank and then just get everyone to turn around. But now like seeing how like to engage in those team fights better. And then in team talk, knowing what's essential and what you need to share over chat and just cutting out all the non-essential stuff too. So yeah, it's been great watching you two.
Oh, nice. Thanks.
We're there to educate and entertain. We're the total package.
It is funny though because when Pro Overwatch started being broadcasted, I feel like just watching the games for a few weeks was like, I'm better at the game. Just watching it was like, oh, I understand this on a way deeper level.
Yeah, and like watching like the game that you were casting just for fun, watching how like your knowledge of the game just turned the tide of a battle, like knowing like, oh, okay, well these guys are coming in like this, so we're gonna do this now, and I hope I stay alive. Oh look, I'm still alive. Yeah, it worked.
Yeah. No, and that's a lot of that is Harvester, our observer as well, because he's a really smart player. Oh. So he will be looking at the same thing. He's like, oh, these ultimates are probably coming up. This is probably going to happen, and then he'll move to spectate them. So like really smart.
That's crazy.
Smart player. It's wild.
Yeah.
And he's solo observing. So for the tournament, we were not going to be solo observing, which is really fun and really cool. It is definitely more challenging where the only thing the stream sees is what he's looking at. So it's like his best guess.
It's like, yeah, keeping like timers going in your head, like, okay, that just happened, so we're gonna budget out a couple minutes for them to get that back. Keeping an eye on the percentages ticking up on the screen if you have that. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it's wild.
That's so much to keep track of.
It's great though.
So for the tournament, how much bigger of an undertaking has it turned out to be than what you thought it was going to be?
I think in terms of work, it's been pretty close to what I anticipated.
Yeah?
So like, cause my background is like music festivals. So it has a very similar kind of like week before the festival vibe right now, where it's like, boy,
Panic.
this kind of sucks, but it's going to be great. It's a lot of work, but it's like I can either stress out about it, or it's just like, just do it, just get it done.
Plug away at it.
So, and I'm doing a lot of the same things that I do for music festivals, where it's like, oh, we need to contract talent. Okay, so that's what I've been doing. I've been doing other contracts for the broadcasters and things like that. It is definitely, from our perspective, it's been about the same amount of work that I anticipated. From the amount of help that we have had to ask, specifically from Solomon, Solomon, has been so much more, like an embarrassing amount.
Oh, damn.
We have learned quite a bit during the tournament. Future ones are going to be so much easier.
Oh, good.
I do feel bad when you're like, hey, Adam, can you look at these contracts? I'm like, dude, I'm going for a history major. You were asking the wrong person. And don't get me wrong, I stepped up, I figured it out, but man, like, this is not what I signed up for. It was, proofreading contracts and stuff like that. But
Yeah, that's not my fault.
you gotta really just fake it till you make it, I guess.
Fair enough.
Speaking of hard work, we should give a little shout out to Kevin, aka Fungus Con, for
Hell yeah.
the beautiful table that's being built for your set.
Yeah, he has been hard at work. We're building an entire desk set for it, which is incredible.
That's going to be your broadcast booth, right? Like, so that's not where you're casting from.
Correct. That'll be our analyst desk, and then we have timed it well, I guess, with AFL moving. So the Comedy Channel had boxed up some of their things, and we were kind of like waiting. Not even patiently. At the second,
Just circling like
the second my wife moved her chair was like, cool blue screen. Okay.
She actually helped you put it up.
Yeah. Which was So it's her fault, really.
This is being
Thank you,
recorded,
Adam.
right?
Good call.
Good luck, man.
Adam.
I'm already sleeping on the couch.
She doesn't watch the show. She's not hearing anything.
So we're both on the couch.
Crash, you had something.
Yeah, Ruzilla wants to know, what are Sam's tips for eating and staying healthy for a weekend of streaming?
Oh.
Only hot sauce, right?
Yeah, if you're going to go 26 hours straight, you got to get these spicy peanuts, you see.
Staying hydrated is the most important, and finding foods that will not dehydrate you too much, so nothing too salty. You want, we cut up some like vegetables for you, so like there's like cucumbers and celery and carrot sticks ready to go. Like just little things so that you can take a bite and then come back to the mic. Please don't eat on the mic. I will die. I will die.
I've heard of other casters being like, oh, you caught me there, I was eating something. Like, why are you eating? What are you doing? That's insane.
Literally unfollow and destroy.
Well, like when they're eating, they're muted. They're not.
They should be muted.
They're not just crunching away on the mic.
I mean,
But
there's
so,
an
why
ASMR
even,
channel.
like-
There is.
Yeah,
There's
like,
a few.
Why even like invite that opportunity, right? Like it just
Yeah.
seems like you're setting yourself up for a bad time. So I can promise you I won't be eating at any point.
I actually on stream was muting myself to eat, and someone gave me shit for it. They were like, "Why are you muting?" And I was like, "Are you kidding right now? Do you want to hear that?" And they were like, "Kind of." I was like,
Okay.
You're on the wrong channel.
"All right, fine." Yeah.
There's an OnlyFans for that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, this is our,
There are other places you can go.
yeah. There's a wide internet for that.
It's certainly not my jam. Not my jam at all. So, okay, you mentioned something about like learning stuff, and the next one's going to be easier. What are the key things you've learned if you were going to do another tournament?
I think the big pieces have been like we had to create all our assets from scratch. So every time we're like, oh yeah, we should have an image that's like this team versus this team. I'm like, hey Kevin. Or like, oh, we need to announce the broadcasters. Oh, we need a contract. Everything is like, oh yeah, we don't actually have that. So we've built everything from scratch.
Okay, so all the infrastructure's in place.
Yeah. So that's going to be the biggest piece, and kind of having an idea of like how many people we need on the other side. We're so used to doing it with like me and Adam and Harvester that we're like, well, how many more people do you need? Turns out like so many more.
Yeah. I feel like I'm going to ask you the same question in 2 weeks.
Yeah. We're so used to doing it on such a bare bones kind of setup that it has been really enlightening, I think.
Because we made it so it would work for the three of us doing it. And then all of a sudden you're like, well, that equation's thrown out the window. It's not relevant at all anymore.
Let's
And
add
especially
18
for, like-
more people and see how that goes.
It's like for the caliber of players and the caliber of production we have, we definitely we needed to expand beyond our like we can make it work with 3 people. So that's been a really good learning experience, and it does feel so much like doing festivals where like everyone does their first festival, and like I can walk into a festival and be like, they haven't done festivals before. There's half the amount of porta potties there should be, and then by like day 2, you're like, that's why. Yeah, you should get a truck.
That's a hard lesson.
More honey wagons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what casters do you watch, and who do you emulate, or is there anyone that you do emulate?
Like for me, I talk a little bit faster, which a lot of people say when you start casting, like don't do that, like kind of build your way up to it. And I kind of did, but I was kind of like, I don't know, I like having fun doing that, so I'm going to keep trying to get better at that.
Hell yeah.
And so there are Overwatch League casters, specifically Uber, Achilleos are 2 that are like, they call them rap gods. They just talk so fast.
Uber's unbelievable.
And they also have like really like quick brains too. Like they'll be talking like a mile a minute, but they're still like making puns or like making weird references to like ancient Greek times or something insane, right? So those are 2 that I really kind of look up to because they're so good at what they do, and you can tell they've practiced so much to get to that point.
I would say that that's noticeable in your style, because you do like to throw in like references to either mythology or that kind of a thing. I also have to say I appreciate how much, and I see you in that you work in the word filthy like almost at least once or twice per stream.
You gotta rep the brand, right? but also like for me, I just like $5 words.
That's fair.
I just like sounding smart. The trick is not to use them too much, because then people are like, okay, dial it back a little bit, but you can throw them in every once in a while. Like I have a couple in my back pocket that I'm like, if this one thing happens, I can use this crazy word that nobody knows what it means.
Oh,
so
nice.
It's just like it's a way for me to like keep myself sharp and like to keep looking at it in kind of a different way, to be like, can I fit a word in here that's different, or because I don't know, like I've watched some. Like I think of like hockey commentators that I'm not gonna like name any or anything, but they just say the same stuff all the time, and you're
Constantly.
like, okay, they're going into the corner, and then he's gonna say this, and it happens every time, and I find it kind of boring.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't really want to do that, and that's like my motivation for getting away from it.
Nice. Is there anything in the esports world that as you get more involved, and potentially we'll see how this weekend and these next 2 weekends go, but either shed light on or alter the landscape of. Talking pie in the sky here.
So are you asking like what would I change or
Yeah,
what
about the esports world from either a casting or just like the tourney sort of competitive aspect.
just
of
from
it.
like the competitive environment or even just like the esports community in general. Like one thing I've tried to start doing a lot more is advocating for people with disabilities because I have some disabilities, and that is something that I have started to learn is like it doesn't get talked about a lot, and it's not something that's discussed. And I've actually met a couple casters, like Juggle God, one of the casters we have this weekend, also has some physical disabilities that he wants to advocate for. So like we sat down and we did a little conversation together about that, about disability in gaming, and we recorded that, so that will hopefully be released kind of throughout the tournament as well to give kind of people a different look and maybe give them a different perspective on problems that some people have that they wouldn't even think of, right? So for me, when I started casting, like that was not something I thought I would do. I wouldn't say I was actively hiding that I had a disability, but I was like not advertising it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I saw Juggle on Twitter saying like I have this and that, and I was like, oh, cool. There are other people like me that are suffering with stuff, but still doing a really good job casting. And that's how we got together and started doing this kind of advocacy.
Sweet.
And yeah, it's not something I thought I would ever do when I started, but it's definitely something I'm going to do more going forward.
Nice.
Yeah, visibility is so important.
Yeah, and as you gain a platform, it's important to use it.
Exactly, because I figured, you know, even if I'm not like hiding it, but I'm not putting it out there, like the people that will find it and use it in a negative way are going to find out and they're going to do bad things with it regardless. But then on the flip side, I'm not doing anything good with it, right? So I might as well take the initiative and try and help out wherever I can. And then, you know, if there's bad people out there, screw them, right? Like I don't care. So
Yeah, fuck them.
exactly.
I find that there are, at least it seems, there are more good than bad out there.
Oh,
but
for
the
sure.
bad are vocal. They're
It's
so loud.
It's a
They're so
vocal
loud.
minority, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we need to increase the vocal good side. Gotta counter them.
Yeah, esports needs a cultural overhaul that I think has been kind of slowly happening, and it's unfortunately it's been kind of like game studio by game studio. Lawsuits basically is the beginning of how things have changed. From and it's like Activision, Blizzard, Riot, tons like there is a serious problem, and it's not just in gaming, but it seems like gaming is kind of having its moment of the culture is trying to change organically now, which has been really, really helpful. And I think like the disabilities has been like I feel like it's still behind a little bit.
It's getting there. Like you can see games adding in more things like colorblind settings, right? That's something that no game used to have. So it's making games more accessible for everybody. And like even Overwatch has a ping system that's coming out with Overwatch 2. So that's something a disabled person can use to communicate with their team and not have to go into voice chat and open themselves up to maybe a bad experience. So there are changes happening, but like you said, Jason, it is happening slower than most people would like.
And it's like, yeah, not having to go into voice chat, a lot of people will stop playing the game because interacting with people, like we play pretty often, I would say, we don't go into voice chat ever because it's not worth it at all. Like for every good experience you have, there's two bad. So it's like, why bother? We're here to have fun.
Yeah, that's not a good ratio.
So
I
the
would say
pings,
it's more like 1 to 10.
yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
Oh,
fair.
it's not good.
Oh my god.
Pretty tough.
And that comes back to the like age-old thing in video games of like there's a person on the other side of that keyboard. Like don't go in or that other side of that microphone. Like you don't need to go in like guns blazing, just taking down everybody else. Like what's the point, right? So yeah, it's just you got to do what you can do to either mitigate that. Like we said, we don't really go into the voice chat very often, if ever. Or like advocacy, like we've worked with other organizations that try and promote different groups of people that are maybe less represented in the gaming community. So there's a lot of different ways you can kind of try and combat that.
And the ping system is really cool.
Yeah.
So now, you don't have to be in voice chat. You can communicate using a button, and it will you can either choose what you'd like to communicate, or depending on what you're looking at, it will communicate something different. So that kind of started. I think it got really big through Apex Legends.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's kind of spread across to other games. We were talking about it today, but like The Last of Us 2, which is not a new game, but you can play it almost completely blind, which,
What?
as far as accessibility goes, is unbelievable. And we're
Really?
seeing more games bring in these accessibility features that it opens it up for so many more people, which is so cool. Like, you can, using like audio cues and things like that, you
Really?
can play it almost completely blind.
Oh.
Like you get the whole story of The Last of Us 2, and you don't need to see it.
Huh. I haven't
is-
played it yet, so that actually makes me want to play it more, even
It's
though
so cool.
interesting. I would totally keep an eye on that. I haven't experienced something like that.
It's just so hard
Yeah.
to hear Ashley Johnson get hurt so many times.
Yeah, oh man, Tim was talking about how hard that game was to play because of how well they did the vocalizations of people dying, not just your
you're on
character,
fire.
but other
Yeah,
characters.
you're on fire.
Yeah, and I was watching a stream of it, and I was like, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
Like, that's really hard to
It feels
listen
violent.
to." Yeah,
Feels bad.
yeah, feel bad, man.
Yeah, if you like kill someone, like their friend comes and they're like, "Oh my God, Kevin." You're like, "No, that was Kevin."
It's instead of just man down, it's like,
Yeah.
he had a
Yeah.
wife. You're like, oh my god,
Yeah, it's really hard.
that is rough.
Like when
So,
you
but
find out-
you can light people on fire while blind.
yeah.
That's wild. Okay, I'm gonna have to play that. Okay.
Yeah.
Any last things you guys want to get out there to the chat or to the audience at home?
I just want to say thank you to everyone that's watched us over the past year or so that we've been casting, because we truly thought that it was going to be like, oh, we'll yell at the screen for like 3 people and then go home. And it's blown up into this thing that we never possibly could imagine. So anyone that's been watching us, especially for a while, thank you so much.
Yeah, and like big thanks to like AFL and Questline for helping us get it out there, and now we got a tournament.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you guys for being here. Very, very much
Yeah, thanks for having
appreciated.
us.
Looking forward to this weekend. And once again, I'm just going to say it. Follow twitch.tv/Questline E-Sports. Make sure you get the 2 E's in there. Questline has an E at the end of it, and then esports. And stay tuned this weekend and also on this channel, there will be some just Saturday, right?
Correct.
Just Saturday. So the Questline Open, 10,000 USD on the line in the prize pool. Tune in. It's going to be a lot of crazy chaos. And we will see you not Monday because of the tournament, but Tuesday for the finale of Strixhaven,
There we go.
which I just heard some stuff, and oh my god, I'm excited. And then Wednesday,
You wanted TPK last week? TPK maybe this?
maybe, I don't know. LFG Community Day. We'll see you again for the final Filthy Talk next Thursday before we move locations. So there's going to be about a month where there's no Filthy Talk. So we'll see you next week, and until then, stay filthy.